All right, guys, we are live with a little bit of technical difficulties here today. So we're going to try to figure it out. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. It is Thursday here at FNGO, and this is the lunch break. But yeah, I was getting ready to do the show, and my mouse died. And the other mouse does not pick up from in there. So we're going to figure out how in a second to see if I can run the comment section over here. Ain't that the way it goes? When you do something live and you're by yourself, it's just the way it is, right? So anyway, I hope you guys are doing well today at work. And I hope that your distractions and your problems are few and far between. What's up, Doug Rice? Tyler, we're going to figure this out. Again, like I don't know exactly how I'm going to do the comment section. I've got the mouse plugged back up. It's one of these Apple mouses that, can connect, disconnect, Wi-Fi and all that. But it died on me. And then I got another one, and it won't pick up because I'm so far away from the computer. So we'll see what's going to happen. We'll try. I'm going to give it a few minutes, see if it will fire up, and then we will go. So any of you guys know how to work an Apple computer over here, just a keyboard to get over that section right there in the comments. We'll figure it out right there. But anyway, hope all you guys are doing well. How'd y'all like that nice, cool weather this morning? I tell you what, when I woke up, got outside, headed up here to the shop, I was like, man, I wish I was in the woods or on the lake. Felt really good. I'm ready for fall. I've had enough of the heat. As I get older, I just don't like heat near as much. I don't know about you guys. I don't understand why people up north move down to Florida, because I would move up. Cam, what's up, buddy? Yeah, I got that hunting drip on there. Hey, listen, speaking of drip, Cam, I saw that picture of you dressed in like Lederhosen and like a German. I guess you was up at Oktoberfest up in Helen. That was a nice look there, dude. I don't know what that was from, you and your lady right there. But very, very nice is all I got to say. So regardless, lots going on. Hey, I want to go ahead and put it out there too. Now, you guys hear me talking about the Toys for Tots. We got any info on what's happening on Hartwell right now? We're going to talk Hartwell a little bit here in a second. So maybe somebody will, especially if Messick and a couple other ones join in. They always got some juice on Hartwell. So we'll figure it out. That was Oktoberfest, exactly. So, but anyway, about the Toys for Tots tournament. We've been talking about it, but I want to make an announcement that they were also doing a sister tournament on Lake Allatoona that was not for the Toys for Tots, but it was still a Christmas style helping. I think it was with a church, and I would pull the info up, but I don't have it right in front of me. But anyway, it was at the 1st of November. But that is going to be canceled. They are not going to be having Big Shanty Bassmasters is not going to be having that tournament due to lack of being able, sponsorship. It's tough getting it right now, for sure. So if you had scheduled to fish that tournament, see, there you go right there real quick. Austin, if you look down a couple, Hartwell is on fire. So, yeah, Messick, or Dylan, tell them what you're catching them on over there. And then, but anyway, regardless, what I was saying is that tournament has been scheduled. So if you were going to fish that one, come over to the Lake Lanier tournament in December and fish. All right, let's absolutely do that. So I can. Here's what I can do with the comments now. I can see them as they come up. But if I miss it, what's up, Ed? If I miss your comment, you might have to do it again. But lots going on. But yeah, listen, the lake is always on fire when I'm at work. 100%. I heard the fluke bite on Hartwell is good. Flukes are really good always on Hartwell. It seems like anytime somebody comes in the shop and they're talking Hartwell, or we get a guest on the show, fluke. 100% the fluke. But if you are planning on fishing that tournament, or if you were planning on fishing that tournament, it is no longer going to be happening. So come on over December 6th, Toys for Tots out of Laurel Park, and fish with us. Now, Coleman, your doctor said no fishing for at least 4 weeks. Man, that's tough right there, right? Coleman, you need a new doctor, Tyler said, for sure. If you guys are in the area tonight, we got a really good live well plan. Dave Aldridge is going to be up here. We're going to talk about Guntersville, grass fishing, and of course that can translate to a lot of different lakes around here. I always enjoy. I've been to Guntersville. I'm not a grass fisherman. I'm still going to be learning it as Dave talks about it. And also we're going to be covering the Ultimate Angler Tournament. That's going to be happening not this weekend, but next weekend. It's going to have like 500 of the best pros from all 3 of your major circuits, a lot of regional, collegiate. Just, there's going to be a ton of good anglers at that. We're going to talk about that tonight as well. Let's see. Danny, I see the Atlanta Braves are looking at our coach at Tennessee. If they get him, they will get a good one. Well, I'll tell you what, he's spirited. Remember what we talked about yesterday? He's spirited. That would be interesting. That would be one that I would not have thought about. I would not have thought about that guy, because what I looked today, there is actually, you can go to Vegas, and they got odds on who the next manager of the Braves will be. Mark DeRosa is sitting at a 3-1. Walt Weiss is 4-1. And then you go on down and you get down to your Dusty Bakers and your Bochy's and all these guys, and they're like 28 to 38-1. But right now in Vegas, according to the odds makers, Mark DeRosa is the top one. And I saw that, and like, even if I thought that was a slam dunk, if I put if I put money on that, wouldn't happen. Not at all. Fishing on the river for shoal bass, pretty good today. That's awesome. Let's see what else you guys got going on there. You really threw my attention off, Kent, with that comment right there about the Tennessee coach. And listen, you know what? I realize a lot of college coaches, especially in football, want to make it to that next level. But I'm telling you what, college coaches are paid a lot of money now. I see you over there. A lot of money now. Like if I was Kirby Smart, making what I was making at the University of Georgia, there is no way in the world I would leave the University of Georgia for a professional job. I think Nick Saban kind of found that out. It's not for everybody. So I don't know. Tennessee is one of those college baseball jobs that's pretty good right now. Kirby is the highest paid state employee in Georgia. I don't doubt it. But Kirby brings in the dinero too, right? What's up, Justin Ortiz? So Dylan Witt says on Hartwell Topwater. That's kind of like everywhere right now. Everywhere. So Dylan, let me ask you this. If you're on Hartwell and you're throwing topwater, are you beating the banks? Like you throwing buzz baits and stuff shallow, or are you out over humps, brush piles deep, and bringing a, shower blow or something like that over the top of it? Because when we say topwater, and you guys know how it is, when we say topwater can mean a lot of different things. Peg leg, what's going on, buddy? Just sit down, Coleman. It will be the hook set that will get you. Just don't pivot that leg. So Coleman's doctor, if you don't know, Coleman had knee surgery, and his doctor said he can't fish for quite a while. Now, listen, y'all want a surgery story that will absolutely blow your mind? I had a buddy walk in here yesterday, and I don't think he'd mind me telling that. Where is an easy spot that you know of on the river I could access easily? What river, Peg leg? But my buddy came in here yesterday, and I'm not saying he's chunky, but he's a thick dude. But boy, when second he walked in, I'm like, my Lord, you have lost some weight. And I said, man, what are you doing to lose all that weight? Thinking, hey, I need a little bit of what you got going on. He spent, let me finish this story, Peg leg, and I'll get you right there on that one. He spent 18 days in the hospital with nothing to eat or drink except the IV that was in his arm. Now, you're talking about a nightmare scenario. It was 2 days before Christmas, and he had some pain. And if any of you guys have ever had the pain that a gallbladder will cause, you know the pain I'm talking about. Went into the hospital. They looked at him. They did, whatever it is, because I had my gallbladder out, and they just, I don't even remember the test they did on me. They just said, hey, you're having surgery the next day. Same thing with him. Biology lecture, Will King, FNGO lunch break. You guys up there talking about cadaver tendons and all that. That is crazy. But anyway, he went in and he had some gallstones that were stuck. And they removed, they were going to take his gallbladder out. And they said, we got to do this first. So they took out his gallstones. Then he was going to be You guys are crazy on Hartwell today. Holden Cone going on Hartwell today. Have you heard any fishing reports? Top water, Sibylla shower blows, running brush, or windblown banks. That's just in my YouTube comments right there. So that's what they're saying right now. And flukes. So he had the gallstones removed, and then a day later he was going to have his gallbladder taken out. Well, when they went in to do the gallbladder, they took it out and everything, and he was recovering. Well, the next day he had to get up and go. He had to go pee, so he asked his wife to help him. When she pulled the covers back, let's just say his boys down there, to see him in his hands, were like the size of grapefruits. And he goes, oh, and she goes, something is wrong. So they called the doctor in there. And apparently somewhere in there along the way, they nicked something. And I can't remember exactly what he said they nicked. But what it was causing was air to fill up in his body. And he could not eat or drink because that would leak out into his body. And it was just a little micro, the surgeon that did the gallbladder thing, just a little micro nick. And they said, well, it should heal up. We're just going to leave. It's called a perforation. It says, well, he was perforated on the inside somewhere. So he's sitting, waiting a few days, and he can't eat. And so, he's got his IV, and they come in every so often. They're like, it's not getting better. It's not getting better. It's not getting better. 16 days into this hospital stay without even eating or drinking. Oh, you were an OR tech in the Army, so you know what you're talking about. Septic shock type stuff. Daggum, that guy needs to sue, get some cash for that. Listen, 16 days in, they come in there and they tell him, he's going crazy. He just wants to go home, and of course he wants to eat something. 16 days in, they come in. Well, you still have symptoms, so it's not healed itself. We're going to give it 2 more days. And if not, this is what my friend told me. If not, they're going to have to cut him from the top of his chest down to his belly button, basically open him up and go inch by inch, whatever, till they find that little nick. He was going to have basically have open heart, open, everything. And the way he described it, he goes, doctor said, exploratory lap. Ed, I appreciate you so much helping me with this story. They were just going to have to pull things out and set it to the side till they figured out what this was, what was causing this. So the very next day, he said, I was crying. They were going to have to make a decision the next day. He said, I prayed. I did everything. He goes, I was crying. I prayed. I didn't know what to do. Doctor came in late the following day. And he said, hey, looks like it's getting better. And then the day after that, they finally said, all right, you're good. So, but regardless, 18 days without eating or drinking, he lost 40 pounds. Now, he had 40 pounds to lose, boys. But he has lost. That happened in December, early January of this year. He's down 40 pounds. The crazy thing about that is not only, he was blessed. He'll tell you that. His gallbladder was even going gangrene. That's how bad it had gotten. It was just basically rotting. So he went through this. But the crazy thing is, not only did he have to do that, but then now he's having to deal with kidney stones, and that's not great. But he said because he technically did like a water fast for 18 days or whatever, it reset his entire system. It changed his taste buds. It did all of these things. Let's just say my buddy, he liked to eat, and he was definitely a carnivore guy. Not the diet, but a carnivore guy. Ain't but one way to pass those stones, and it hurts. Well, he had to have surgery on one, and they went in and blasted those kidney stones. And then he said, all of a sudden after that, now he's got them on the other. I said, what's causing this thing? He goes, that calcium. He goes, I didn't drink water. And he's like me. I don't like water. But I'm going to have to start drinking some after this, even though my wife tells me every day I'm just not going to. But it changed it, like pork. He said if he puts pork in his mouth now, he said it tastes rancid. A steak, can't eat steak anymore because just through this whole process and his reset, it changed it. Now, y'all have heard me talk about when I got COVID the first time, it kind of changed my taste buds. Things that I used to love before COVID, like sweet stuff, I can't take a lot of it now. I used to hate olives, hated the smell of it. I can eat olives now by the gallon. It's weird how it happens, how your body changes. Now, his diet now consists of vegetables. He can't eat venison. He goes, I was about to just cry. He goes, and he's a hunter like I am. He goes, I went down to the refrigerator, freezer, got some venison tenderloin, told my wife to cook it up. And he said, I don't know what I'm going to do if I can't eat this. And luckily she cooked it. And he honestly said, he was so nervous to take that first bite because he was worried about what was going to happen. And he said, luckily he put it in there. And he just went, But yeah, it changed him. And I mean, this all happened, Christmas. He spent Christmas in the hospital. And then, all of these other things have happened. And it's changed his entire life, the way he eats, the way he feels. He does say that losing 40 pounds, his knees don't hurt, his back don't hurt. And I can totally get that. But, man, he didn't have a choice in losing it at all. Let's see what you guys are saying. Patricia will get on that. He was going to be spilled open. My gallbladder ruptured, and I had to have emergency surgery at 3 a.m. Not a fun experience. Same thing with me. He was ruined. I hope I never lose my taste for steak. They got that tick out there, that Lone Star tick or whatever. If you see a tick and it's got that little white dot on the top of it, they carry, and Ed, you might know because you know all this stuff, but they carry something that if they bite you and it gets in you, and not every one of them, but most of them, and it affects you, you'll become like allergic to red meat and things like that from a tick bite. There is a term for it. It's something that I've started seeing in the news a lot more over the last 3-4 years. Thank the Lord he can eat venison for sure. And he'll tell you that as well. My taste buds changed a little after COVID, but 5 years later, I still can't smell unless it's something super strong. Can me and you both. No, it's not Lyme disease, Coleman. There is a particular disease that is caused by the bite of a Lone Star tick. AGS. I knew Gone Fishing with Ed would know over there on TikTok. AGS. But you get this bite, and it will make you like allergic to things. And one of the things is red meat. Alpha-Gal syndrome. It's an autoimmune thing, I think. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just know it exists. Alpha-Gal syndrome. And it's caused by the Lone Star tick. Pegleg says, I was 527 pounds at my biggest. I lost 210 pounds in 10 months when I was 19, when I found out I was diabetic. Yeah, man, I could understand that. And, a lot of people figure out they're diabetic, like when they're younger, if they got that, what is it? Now, you have that 2 different types of it, the early diabetes, whatever it's called. Some people are born with it, and some people develop it later in life. I was wondering if you were born with it. Body develops antibodies against alpha-gal, I guess, whatever. And Doug Rice says alpha-gal there as well. Almost like what's going on with Kyle Patrick. I'm not aware of Kyle Patrick's situation, so fill me in on that. Type 1 diabetes. That's what I knew it was something simple and outdoors, because I dated a girl that was type 1 diabetic, and she had to take the shots like when she was younger and everything. But a lot of people have that type 2 or whatever. And then I don't know for it to be sure. I heard somebody saying here the other day that even now in some countries, dementia and Alzheimer's are one of the two. It's considered type 3 diabetes. They're kind of, and I don't know all the science behind that. Again, I am not the one that needs to be kind of figuring that out. But a lot of scientists, a lot of doctors are starting to say that is a type 3 diabetes. Anyway, Kyle Patrick was in the hospital for a minute. Wow. I didn't know that. All right, so look, we got the NPFL going on Hartwell this weekend. This is the championship from the year before. This is from the 2024 season. And so the interesting thing about this is all the elite guys that joined this year and all that, they're not going to be in it. They're going to allow forward face and sonar because that is what these guys qualified with. And some guys that qualified last year that aren't fishing this year will get to come back and fish that championship. Like Trent Palmer with Sonar Pros. Should be really good tournament. The fish, from what everybody's saying, the fishing on Hartwerell right now is really good. Got that fall bite going on, top water, whatever you want to throw. But here's my question to you guys. After watching the NPFL for a year without forward-facing sonar, do you feel like it would be kind of a mental letdown to the viewer who has liked the new format to watch a tournament that is allowing forward-facing sonar? And again, this is not a debate on whether a forward-facing sonar should be allowed. I'm asking you from a viewer experience. Weights will be tight. I bet it takes 17, 18 a day to win since they are scoping. But Coleman, that's what I'm asking. Do you think will the viewing audience, there have been a ton of people that have started watching the NPFL this year because they're not forward-facing sonar. Will those people tune in and watch this championship? I like watching tournaments where they also show what's on the forward-facing sonar screen. I do as well. I think it's interesting to see what the angler is looking at. But will it kind of mess with those people? Let's just say if they gained 100 new people, and we're just going to use 100 for a number. And those 100 watched the NPFL this year because it was a no forward-facing sonar. Will those guys watch this championship? Is it I support the NPFL as long as the tournament doesn't have forward-facing sonar for those guys? Or have they become accustomed and they understand that this is a one-off from here on out? Now, with me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. So I'm not that guy, but I'm just wondering how some of you, will you watch it? Austin says, I think if you're a true fan of the sport, it shouldn't matter whether or not they use it or not. I agree with you 100%. Steven says, I think as long as the public can watch fish being caught, the viewership will be happy. I hope it is for those guys. Coleman says, I think they will. You have lots up shallow. This should be a good one. And it does depend. Again, with the NPFL, it also depends who's got the camera in the boat, right? Who's got the camera in the boat? I just want to see fish hit the deck. Patricia Leanne Shaw says yes because it's on YouTube. Yeah, that's something that crossed my mind. Because I know we were talking to Robert Blesky last week, and I was really happy that he qualified for the championship for this season. But I totally forgot. That they were fishing this championship from last year. It's one of those scheduling things that you just you got to be reminded of. Tracy says, I don't give two shits what they use and how they use it. I'm like you, Tracy. I'm just wondering about this new crop of viewers. You see what I'm saying? That's the ones that I'm just curious. Will they watch it? Will they watch it? Because, hey, the only reason they watch the NPFL is because they got tired of the elites and they got tired of the MLF using it. And all the comment sections are the ones that say, hey, I'm just curious to see if the viewership has a little bit of a drop. And I hope it doesn't, because I really do like the NPFL guys. And I think it's worth watching every time they come on. But I am curious. Will you see? And you guys, and listen, we tease him, but you guys that watch the Livewell, you know our buddy Cranking and Yanking. You know how he feels about forward-facing sonar. He's as anti as it comes when it comes to forward-facing sonar, and he will let you know he is. No, all right, gone fishing. Let me explain this. So the NPFL is going to allow forward-facing now. No, they have a championship this weekend, but this is the championship where the anglers qualified from the 2024 season. So this is their championship for last year. And since they qualified last year with forward-facing sonar, in this tournament, they're allowed to use it. And then going back with 2026, they'll continue not having it from here on out. So this is a one-off tournament. Do y'all think it will affect the guys in the NPFL considering they haven't used it all year? Granted, I know they're pros. And I will say this, listen, most of those guys that don't use it in the actual tournament, they use it year round on the other stuff. Very few of them do not utilize forward-facing sonar in their other, some of them fish the elites and they use it, but just some of them, some of them are guides. Some of them are guides in the off season and all. I know Rob guides. So I know he uses it when he is not fishing an NPFL event. Several of those guys. So I don't think that it'll hurt them. I don't think that it will hurt them because, again, like I said, they're using it all the other, times they go fishing. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them. It's all about the competition. Just fish, 100%. It could be more interesting to watch if they can figure out how to incorporate the viewing for the viewer a little better. And that's kind of what Gone Fishing with Ed said over here on TikTok. If if they're scoping, at least at a minimum, you want to see that screen. And it would be even better if the anglers were equipped with, social skills to tell you what they're looking at, or at least talk to you. I mean, even if you're sitting at work and you got it on in the background and it's white noise, but you hear one of the anglers go, "Oh, here he comes. Here he comes." You're going to go, and you're going to look. So absolutely, I think that there's got to be ways for them to tweak it for sure. But at the end of the day, let's take next year. How can the NPFL improve the product next year when they're not doing it? To me, just 100%, it falls on the angler. Fat Cat and Luke can do the best announcing that they could do, and they do a good job. The cameraman can only get so many angles, and they do a good job. Or if they just got a stationary camera plugged up that they're tapping into, you get that one angle. So the reality is it is left up to the angler. Now, not everybody is a social butterfly. Not everybody has a sense of humor. Not everybody's Matt Robertson or one of them guys that like to talk and like to chirp the whole time. Some of them are real quiet, and some of you guys are the same way. And I feel like I'm a chameleon. Whoever I'm fishing with, if they're quiet, I can be quiet. But if they talk, I'm going to talk. So I think that's really the best way to make it better for the viewer as best as humanly possible you can. There's only so much I got to work with. Did Hurricane Helene screw that up from last year, or was it scheduled this way intentionally? I think it is a reschedule. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so, Austin. I get the no talking part. I'm guilty of it on my YouTube videos of my tournaments. You're concentrating. But if we could see the forward-facing sonar screen, ... yeah, 100%. And see, like, I'm probably the opposite. When Ryan and I would do live videos of us fishing, Ryan's up there concentrating. Me, I'm in the comment section. I'm just yap. But if I was a co-angler in a serious tournament or something like that, and my boater's quiet, then I'm quiet. I can do it for at least 7 hours. Now, I will go home and talk the walls off, or just, drive my wife crazy because I got to make up for it. How do y'all feel about us having forward-facing, but the pros don't? I feel like Emil made a great point on Mercer's podcast, and I started watching that, but I didn't watch all of it. So tell me what he said, Messick, because I'm going to go back and watch it this afternoon and finish it. So I missed the point that you're talking about. So let me know what he said. Other than that, let them fish however they want, 100%. Good morning with Kaz on Chattooga. Caught about 20. Best 5 went 15 pounds. Doc, I tell you what, Doc gets to do some fishing with some good guys. And Kaz is one of them. Now, Kaz is somebody that does a good job talking on his YouTube videos and all that. You could listen to Kaz Anderson talk just from his accent, his just thick Southern drawl. I think people would listen to him all day long talk. I'm throwing old buzz bait. I can't even do it like Clint does. Clint does a great thing, but throwing that old buzz bait up, rolling it. Oh, here she comes. I could listen to Kaz. But there are a few pros that even when they talk on podcasts, I'm listening to them, I'm like, y'all got the personality of a rock. If I were, unless that guy was like top 2 or 3 for entertainment purposes, I don't know that if I was in control that I'd put a camera in his boat, unless he was just like, had the biggest following whatsoever. Because you got to realize at the end of the day, the reason they want you to watch is it's entertainment. They want to entertain you so you'll come back. So they have to make those decisions. Not everybody needs a camera in their boat to entertain. You see what I'm saying? Let's see. Again, guys, also remember too, my mouse died. So if you put up a comment there and I missed it because people were doing it, put it back again and we'll try to get it. Atlanta Outdoors, I'm a white noise guy. That's why I like watching Zaldane. I hear the drag rip and change screens while working. 100%. Far Dog's here from Southeast Oklahoma. How you doing, buddy? Cam said there's that much money on the line. I'd definitely be too focused to be fishing to try to entertain an audience. Mm-hmm. You see, it is a thing. I get it, Cam, 100%. Emil said something like, if everyone wasn't able to use forward-facing sonar, the fish would go back to normal. Now, what is normal? What is normal? Because, I mean, forward-facing's been out quite a while. How many of you guys, now Doc probably does. Some of you older guys probably remember normal. But what is normal now? Gone fishing with Ed. You said that's not true. Are you talking about if they did away with it, the fish would go back to normal? Is that what you're commenting on over there? That statement right there? Get on them Beckies right there. Glad we talked about the spy bait the other night. One of my key baits this morning on Allatoona, that's what he was using. It ended up breaking off, and I didn't have another one with me. Yeah, listen, we ain't talked spy baits in a hot minute till Deshaun brought it up. And I'll be honest with you, I ain't sold very many of them at all. Gone fishing with Ed, give me your opinion on that. What do you think if it were to go away? You know, I guess what you're saying is you do not think the bass will go back to the old normal. And the reason he put it is because of pressure. What Tyler said, and that the fish will still be pressured regardless of the leagues, if the leagues would ever ban it. Messick says, yeah, okay, so you guys are on the right thing. Too much pressure out there. And that is what? That's a post-COVID thing, right? More people are fishing now. If you guys remember last week, I was throwing out the comments of how many more. I think I still got them right here. Somewhere in here. I will keep talking until I find it. How many more people were fishing? Remember we covered that? I think it's in this notebook right here. We'll see. I got you guys. I'm like the notebook king. Like I write more stuff down and never throw it away. But we'll see. Anyway, flukes were the ticket today on Chateau, Doc Holliday said with him and Kaz. That's what Kevin Underwood took second in that No Wake Nation tournament. He was throwing flukes. Yeah, I must not have it in this notebook. But you guys remember it was like millions more women were fishing in 2024 or 2025 than in 2024. It was increasing everything, but we were losing them at a fast rate. We talked about that. I talk to myself constantly when I fish. I don't realize how much I do until I go back and watch the footage. Yeah, for sure. I understand that. Messick said, and he's talking about a meal. He explained normal as 40 spots in a brush pile coming up and nailing a topwater, not just one or two. And so, you know, would that ever happen again? Because like what Ed said, the pressure of fishing. I think a lot of guys would love that. I think, you know, and I'm not a biologist, I think fishing is cyclical anyway. Right? Lakes have up years, they go through a down cycle and they'll come back up. We can attribute the topwater being down everywhere. That everybody's talked about the topwater being down. We could contribute it to pressure. We could contribute it to forward-facing sonar. We could just be in one of them cycles, boys, where, you know what? Hey, topwater ain't going to be that good for a year or two, and in another year or two, it'll be right back. Who knows? Seems like a lot of fish have moved back into the creek. Spent most of the morning in Stamp Creek. I love Stamp Creek. I really do enjoy our electric-only tournaments over there. I think Emil stepped in a little stinky on that comment. I love watching him, but wrong choice of words. Hey, listen, it happens, guys. If you were one of those that get on, now, I don't know, was Mercer live? Was it a live podcast? I just saw it a little bit. Fish get smart, people stop catching, people stop fishing, fish get dumb again, rinse and repeat, going fishing with Ed. Yeah, I mean, I get that too. I can't remember if Mercer's live. I just remember seeing Emil. I watched a couple minutes of it, and I was doing some things. And so I said, I'll go back and watch it. But why is it that people don't need to hear from any other athletes, but they need to hear from anglers? Well, Steven Sturgeon, I think because I'll give you my opinion on it, just my opinion, and it is just an opinion. If I'm watching baseball, football, basketball, which I don't watch that much, but, you know, any other of those sports, they're moving and there's always action. And each player, each swinger, each at bat There's a little bit of drama into it. You know, you want to see what happens. I think with fishing, there's so much downtime in between bites. Now, if a guy's sitting there just smacking them all day long, maybe. But I think in fishing, there's so much downtime, and the view and everything is not as good. I mean, we watch a football game. What's up, Big Bait John? We watch a football game. We got 422 camera angles. Watch a baseball game, same thing. Basketball, same thing. In fishing, we got one camera angle. We just got one camera angle. And even the most diehard guys on here, I've heard say it's boring to watch professional fishing. So I think maybe that, you know, I don't know. I understand what you're saying, though. Maybe it's an unfair thing that we expect them to entertain us. They speed up baseball games to gain viewers with timers at work. What's up, Bible Bass TV and F&GO Outdoor Family? Glad you're here with us. But I think, Stephen, I think that's it. Just everything else is a little more entertaining because there's so many different options to watch it from, angles and everything. Fardog says, I went fishing Tuesday, and on my home lake, it looked like a daggum tournament was going on. 43 boat trailers. Does anyone work anymore? What was you doing? Fardog, what were you off on a Tuesday? I don't know, man. I wish I could go fishing. I agree 100% about the lakes being cyclical. Jeff Brazil says that. And again, I'm just guessing. Fishing with Paul says it depends on the sport. There's some sports where people love to hear from the athletes constantly. Listen, I do like it when they mic it up. I don't like it when ESPN is sitting there talking to the guy. Creole's God Service on TikTok. What's up, buddy? I don't really like it when the announcers are talking to the player, but I love it when you can hear the interaction between the players. Now, Andy Miller says Mercer isn't live, but Emil must have been tired. That's the quietest I've seen him. That's because he wasn't on our podcast. We don't have no problems with Emil. Saw a boater get ejected because he ran too shallow at full speed. That's awful. Really? Where was that at, Bible Bass? I believe, what was it? Oh, Dave, the guy that's going to be on that, he sent me a text. He goes, Mercer beat you to Emil. I said, no, he didn't. I had Emil on 2 weeks ago. That was on Alatuna. Was the individual okay, Bible Bass? But yeah, listen, I've talked to Emil and all of them about that. And some of them podcasts, and I'm not saying Emil has said this. I've talked to others. There's some of them they feel like they have to go on to because they have to. You get what I'm saying? Not because they want to. There is a difference. And also, too, you know, like I said, Emil loves coming on us because we're just yahoos and we'll sit here and drink a beer with him, and he likes it. And I'm not saying he don't like Mercer. That is not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that I know I spoke with several of them pros that they don't like going on all them, but they feel like they got to. Creole's God Service. We fish catfish tournaments on the Mississippi River. Can be very dangerous. Well, hell yeah, I bet it could. 100%. Catfish tournaments, I'd like to just, I mean, we're bass guys. I like to catfish, but we're bass guys. I would love to get on the boat with like a real, like I'm talking about like a top tier level catfish angler and watch what they do to catch these. Like, we ain't talking about 10 pounders. We're talking about these monsters. How many people that watch football actually play football, though? That's true. I know a guy, Creole, said, we might have to set that up, dude. I got a TV show, and if you're on the Mississippi River, maybe that might make a good episode. I might need to message you on TikTok. The drone footage is great, even they use it. I think more of the drones would give more coverage. Yeah, for sure. But the problem is you get drones, you got to hire a guy to fly a drone. And guys that are really good at flying drones, that have the license to fly it, all that, they ain't cheap. It's all about, at the end of the day, it's all about the dollars. If the NPFL or whatever, if they had an unlimited budget, oh, they'd have camera boats and all that stuff for sure. 100%. Mississippi River in Louisiana, best trophy catfish waters in the country's hands down. I'm going to be talking to you soon. Today was one of those days, had to leave the lake to go to work, Derek said. Man, that's a tough one, right? Now, for me, like, I don't like to get to work late. Like, if I'm not going to get to work, unless I got a show, unless we're doing a Livewell, and it's going to be 1 o'clock before I get to the shop, I ain't going. Because it just, man, the day's awful. That's just my personality. White Owl 74, what's happening? One more day till it's time for some reeling and grilling and some blue ribbons. Old Paps, huh? You like the old Paps? Paps Blue Ribbon, let me tell you something. It ain't great out of a can anymore like it used to be in the day, but if you go into the right bar, and it's one of those bars where their beer is kept at like 32.1 degrees, I'm telling you, boys, it's hard to beat at ice, and I mean ice cold Pabst Blue Ribbon. That's why I take off on Tuesdays, because I hope I don't cut half the folks off, laugh my butt off. Just kidding. I like fishing on Tuesdays. Monday was going to be my fishing day here, but now I do a show. I mean, I probably could go over to Latham for a couple hours, and I might need to start doing that on Monday mornings. I'm glad to hear Emil say what he feels. That's why I like him when he's on there. Emil is an honest dude, I think. He has said a few things that ruffled the feathers of some other people I know, even though they didn't bring it out, different organizations and things like that. It's those comments you'll never hear out in the public, but I've heard them. But Emil does say what he does. He's that guy. That felt like there was some tension or something with Mercer's pod. From what I understand, he likes Mercer, though, so I don't know. No, he's told me good things about Mercer. No, Emil has never said anything negative about Mercer. And to be quite honest with you, of all the pros I've talked to, I don't know that I've experienced one say a negative thing about Mercer. I was just kind of throwing that out as a general from 80,000 feet looking down kind of comment. He might just not have been in the mood. Hey, it happens. Listen, I'm not going to lie to you guys. There are some Tuesday and Thursday nights at about 5:30, 6 o'clock if it's been a long day. And I'm like, I'd like to go home. But we power through it, right? And then generally, once you get started, it's all good. But I'm telling you, there's a few times, and it'll happen this afternoon. Now, Tony gets here about 4:30 or 5, and that helps. But the Tuesday night crowd is a late arriving crowd. They don't get here to like 7 or something. I'm telling you, between 5 and 7 o'clock here, if there ain't nobody in the shop, shopping or coming in and talk, you start kind of thinking, hey, man, I got 152 things I could be doing. But then you get in show mode. What's your thought on the move to live broadcast tournaments? Well, some people are going to like it. Some people are not. Some people want to go back to the day. They think the entertainment value would be better, like in the old days where you just, on Saturday, you watched a recap of the tournament. And so you saw 1 hour, 30 minutes to 1 hour of just straight sick-ass fish catches. Boom, 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 and guys talking. But there are those guys that will sit and watch 8 hours all day. It just depends on the personality. At the end of the day, here's the deal. If it's profitable, they'll do it. If they're losing their ass and losing money on it, it won't stick around that long. 100%. It won't. Danny, you're the type that if you have a bad start to a tournament, it kind of ruins your whole tournament. No. Shit, no, because I go into a tournament knowing I'm going to get my ass kicked. Hey, when you keep those expectations low, everything is uphill when it comes to a tournament. I go to a tournament knowing that I am a professional donator. I do luck up every once in a while, but I also know that when I'm fishing a tournament, I'm not going to try to win money to pay for my mortgage. I go and I wear the hat. It's more of a business thing for me just to be out amongst the guys and be seen, talk to the guys that view us. That's really how I view every tournament I ever fish in. It's honestly more about before the blast off and during the weigh-in and after the weigh-in. For me personally, I enjoy the fishing. I enjoy seeing what guys bring to the scales. And if I have a good day or me and my partner have a good day and we bring something, great. But at the end of the day, my entry fee was basically a business expense in quote unquote advertising. You get what I'm saying? So that's kind of the way I look at it. So I'm not that guy. So no, it doesn't bother me at all. Live broadcast would probably be loved by people who fish. People who don't probably wouldn't want to. Too much dead time in between catches for people who don't fish. And that the entertainment value right there for sure. I'm a service plumber, made my schedule to be able to fish weekday mornings. So it's nice to be self-employed, right? 100%. I get it, my man. There's going to be a kayak bass fishing national championship on Guntersville the first week of November. Might be a good place to shoot a traveling episode. I'm actually going to get to go now. Let me read Creoles and then I'll get that comment. Live broadcast views depend a lot on the personalities of the angler, entertainment value, which is what I was saying earlier. And I do get some guys, up there like it really ain't their job. Why should we make them be entertainers. And I don't think you really can force it. But if you are a producer of a show, it's all about keeping eyeballs on the product. Think of the world we live in. If you're a social media guy, you know this. TikTok, you got 3 seconds. You guys get on TikTok, you're scrolling through. You got 3 seconds to capture their attention. YouTube Shorts, same thing. Long form content, you better keep them interested in that first minute and let them know what the rest of the video is going to be about and what they can expect to see, or you're going to lose them. And I can take even our best videos, our best lives and everything, and we get analytics, and you can see where people start popping off. And so you got to be able to keep that person watching. If they're a diehard fisherman and they're a tournament angler, they're going to watch. They're going to watch. But for the guy that's got 8,222 other things nagging at his attention, might not be so much. We had a meeting about content creators, and I learned a lot. Yeah, Bible Bash. Deshaun was telling me about y'all's meeting. Yeah, he was telling me about that. Anything I can do to help you guys, let me know. But as far as going over there to Guntersville, I am now going to be able to go to the Ultimate Angler. So I'm going to leave here that Friday morning. So I'll be there Friday and Saturday over there at the expo and the weigh-in. And I'm looking forward to it. Clint's going with Yamaha, but he's also taking his camera and all. So I might be able to get some footage with Clint while we're there. But I'm going for one and one reason only. Shake hands. Shake hands. Meet the guys. Talk to guys that I know, like Drew Cook and all those. See Brooks and all them out there. See Emil. Talk to those guys. So, again, it's almost like if I was fishing at a tournament. It's all about connections with everybody. How can I get in those meetings? Gone fishing with Ed. I think that was just one that Noe put on. You know what I'm saying? I got my start on YouTube, then transitioned into tournaments, then guiding. Like, man, you like an old Ben Milliken, right? You the catfish Ben Milliken. I'm going to check out. What's your YouTube channel? Is it Creole's Guide Service? I'll check it out after the show. Messick, I don't fish tournaments yet, but if I see myself start to spin out, then I force myself to sit down, smoke a cig, and regather my marbles. If I spin out, it is. Creole Catfishing. You guys, hey, listen, after this show, go on YouTube, check out Creole Catfishing on YouTube. Give him a like and a subscribe since he was kind enough to join us today, and I'll do the same. Are there any tournaments for people who never catch any fish? Randy Holbrook, every damn one I'm in. I feel you, bro. Advertising, exactly. That's why I'm trying to get the let's do it this way. Advertising, exactly. That's why I'm trying to get the fiance's company to wrap my boat. Hell, I was trying to get your fiance's company here. She's got that marriage on her mind and all that. I don't want to mess with her during this time. I love the excitement tournaments bring. I go in thinking I'm going to win, and by 10:30, I change my mind. You guys really want to know the one thing I do? Oh, Lord. Hold on a second. Danny, you ever fish Saturday night tournaments on tuna? They just had the last one, but my partner and I are looking into starting one next year. I fished a night tournament on tuna with Kevin. Allatoona gets dark, boys. It gets dark. But I think you'll have a lot of fun. Danny, please tell the story of your weigh-in mishap one more time, please. Want to make sure I retell your story correctly. All right, here it goes. One more time. Let me get a drink. Electric Elite Tournament. Hickory log. Go fish. 5 fish alive. You know what it is. We go fish. We get in line at the weigh-in. Tim White, Justin Reynolds is right in front of me. They go in, they weigh their fish, they take the lead, they do pictures right then and there. So Justin or Tim one said, hey, hold our bag. Exact bag I had. They take pictures of their fish, they bring them back down. Hell, I ain't paying attention. They throw them in the bag. I'm just looking like, man, they just took the lead, and I'm thinking about going up and having to weigh my damn 5 pitiful fish in behind their 5 good ones. Grab the bag. They head on down to the lake, dump their fish. I go up, look at the weighmaster and go, he goes, how many you got? I go, 5 alive. And I dump them. And it was a bag of water. And he looked at me like, he looked at me like he didn't know if I was joking or if I was, being serious. And I told him, I said, I swear to God, I had 5 fish. I had 5 fish. And we all looked down. About that time, there's 10 fish being dumped down there in hickory log. So it was very embarrassing. Again, I've always said I'm probably the only guy to weigh a bag of water in at a weigh-in. Bad thing about it was it's in front of a pretty good crowd of all the other anglers and a few of their wives and friends and all that. But you talking about looking like a dumbass, this guy right here. But now we can laugh about it, right? I mean, now we can laugh about it. It's fun. It's a good story. See, things like that happen. It is a core memory. It'll be one I'll never forget. And I guarantee you everybody there will never forget it either. And that story probably gets told a lot without me even knowing about it. Sounds like something I would do. I mean, I can just imagine it. Some of them other guys like, you remember that time when that dumbass Pruitt went up there and poured that bag of water in, said he had 5 alive? I know it happens. I know it happens. But if you know what? If at the end of the day it brings a smile to everybody's face, that's all that matters, right? See you, Doug. Going to Guntersville tomorrow. Hopefully it does good. We're going to talk about Guntersville tonight because Dave has a house in Guntersville. And if you watch the Real American Road Trip, that episode we did on Guntersville, we were staying with Dave. That's when Dave cooked all the Cajun food for us. And Guntersville was really interesting. But I'm telling you what, it was very, for somebody who's never been, yeah, make sure you don't Pruitt it. Now, Creole said I had a 40-pound blue smack me in the head repeatedly in front of 2,000 people at a tournament. Well, if you go on to the Real American Road Trip and check out the episode where we was up there in Michigan, and I finally hooked that salmon in the river, and I fought him, and I get him right up there to give my glory shot. Bam, right in the nose. So I've been there with you on that in Creole. It's pretty funny. Now we can laugh about it. But Guntersville, man, I tell you what, it was like for somebody that's never fished a grass lake, that's used to these highland reservoirs, oh my gosh, it was overwhelming. It was so overwhelming. I did one a long time ago. I got water in my bag and forgot to fish in my live well. Well, okay, now listen, you're getting close right there. But at least you could go back and get your fish. Mine were swimming off. All right, look, okay, listen. Justin Reynolds is in the comment section on YouTube right now. He knows exactly what the hell it's his fault. At least it wasn't the other way around. You dumped out the winning bag. That was wild. So, like, seriously, like, they had the winning bag. Yeah, I think y'all won that tournament, didn't you? Oh, my Lord. We run oxygen in our live wells. They get salty. I get it. But, yeah, we can all listen. FNGO, it's all Tim White and Justin Reynolds' fault because had they just weighed in a typical bag like I weighed in, nobody would be taking pictures. No, they got to go take the lead. They got to go weigh in like a great bag on hickory log. So it's his fault. It is his fault. But, Justin, I love you, dude. You and Tim, they're hammers, dude. They're hammers. Pontoon Jody. They're making you work at work. I'm not here because of that. How dare them? I understand that. I understand that. Some of us have to work every once in a while. You know, what's her name? From the lady that watches us, I think it's Kathy Mueller from Michigan. She had a live on TikTok last night, and I was scrolling through. I was trying to find Slicks, and I saw that, and I watched her live for a few minutes. I was like, hello, FNGO, from FNGO and all that stuff. And she was like, hey, and all that. But she's not here today because she's actually out practicing for her tournament this weekend. Interesting to hear people from up north talk about their baits. So it was her and 2 other guys, and I was listening to them. And you know what? It looked like everything we fish with down here. Swim baits were the same, a little bit different of the colors, but they were talking about Ned rigs a lot. Forgot my stringer when I went to Helen, so I talked the old lady, you guys are brave, into giving me the string off her dress, and I had my 3 fish sitting in the water with a rock sitting on top of the string. I went to go get my fish, and they were gone. I finally found my stringer in the river about 100 foot down. I was so mad until I found them. And Creole Catfishing is now with us right here on YouTube. It's better on YouTube. And if you watch tonight on the live well, we have all the other cameras in here working. So I guess Pontoon Jody and Creole Catfishing know each other. So Creole Catfishing, Jody's here about every day, man. If you love fishing, it don't matter. White Owl 74. I guess that is from one of the comments up above. Atlanta Outdoors got to work on some construction schedules. I'll catch you tonight. Yeah, absolutely. But, yeah, I remember that day. We all have those moments. But tonight when we talk about Guntersville, I just remember going out there and watching what Dave did in 7 foot of water with 5 foot of grass. And I'm not going to lie, I was lost. I mean, yeah, you could throw your standard flukes and stuff over there, but like I've never seen so much. I get pissed off on Latham when I throw a shaky head. I come up with that snot grass on it. Much less fishing an entire lake where it's nothing but that stuff and 22 other different varieties of vegetation. Jody's pretty quiet. Dave's right here, excited to hang with the boys tonight. I'm excited to talk about it. And I'm really excited to figure out, because I think we were there just a little bit later in the year, Dave, when we went over there and filmed. I'm not sure. It might have been October or maybe November. I don't remember. But we had some really crappy weather. They're going to have pretty good weather for the, well, we'll see. It's 2 weeks. I was thinking NPFL this weekend. But listen, their learning curve on that, there's a lot to it. It's not a lake you can go over there and not fit, you may be lucky and get over there and catch a good stringer, but I think, if you're coming from North Georgia and you're fishing Lake Lanier and you jump on Guntersville, that's a whole different world. Coleman, you're a member for a month. The mill needs a marshal for Ultimate Angler if anyone is interested. Man, that might be what I need to do. Again, you guys see that tonight on the Livewell, we're starting to do this. If you are a member of FNGO, and by member, I mean a supporting member, we have 2 levels, $4.99 a month, $9.99 a month. If you like what we do and we're worth a cup of coffee to you or a Happy Meal and you support us, we thank you. But once a month, at the end of each month, we're going to be taking all our members, putting them in a hat, drawing a name. We're giving away a prize. Tonight will be the very first one, and we're going to give away a JC Elite Reel. And we're going to give away the cranking one, the 5.4. So this is the new JC Elite Reels from Spro. And we're going to start giving them away. We're going to have a prize like that each and every month. If you're a $9.99, you get two names in the hat. $4.99, you get one. It's going to be something done every month for our members only. So we appreciate you guys. And, if I can get enough of you guys to do that, I'll be able to pay Tony and Alex and all them. But we appreciate you, being a member. Consider that, guys. I don't like getting on here and ask for money or nothing like that. But it will help us to expand. Bad Company 05. Hey, Danny, love the show. I'm White Owl's co-angler. Looking forward to Lanier this weekend. Hey, listen, appreciate you stopping by. I'd like to know how Lanier, I bet you guys, honestly, let's see, it's going to be nice and cool. I bet y'all wreck topwater. If y'all don't wreck on topwater, I would be so shocked. So shocked. Messick, how many members do you have? I don't know. Maybe we ain't pushed it a lot. Maybe 20, 30, something like that. I need about 10,000. I need 10,000 members at $4.99 a month. And then y'all would get the good prizes. Hopefully I don't get tied up this evening. Learning a lot on the lake. Caught my PB, first fish I caught there. So talking about Guntersville. Hey, listen, don't get me wrong. You guys, if you just pay attention to the tournaments, the weights from the tournament, they're there. There's some huge fish. But then you got all these different options. You guys can scope them. Guys can throw frogs. I know Farmer and Tim were throwing buzz baits. I know Dave was throwing an A-rig like I ain't never seen an A-rig work before. I was throwing a chicken rig. And then at one time I was throwing a Texas rig weightless Cinco. And then the next day we went and punched. And that was like the most gosh awful fishing I've ever done. I'm not a fan of punching. But then I had a guy in here last night said, yeah, it's going to suck. But if you ever catch one of those fish, if you ever get a bite while punching, he goes, it'll change your life. It'll change your life. Let's see. They say Guntersville is the best fall frogging lake in America. I'd love to go see. I believe we might have been there a little late for the frog. I can't remember if Farmer or any of them caught any on a frog. I don't think so. Dave, we'll ask Dave again tonight. If you're hunting this weekend, I know you're excited about that cold front coming in Saturday morning. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Yes, I am. And finally, last night, I had my first decent buck show up. Me and my son have had a couple of smaller ones, but last night, he's not big boy. He's not big boy, but he's big enough. But that happened last night. And so I'm kind of like, oh, yeah, bring on this cool weather. Appreciate you, Derek Spicer, for being a member. This time of year is a big fish season for us catfish anglers. Love the fall. Can I ask you a question, Creole catfish? And I mean, a very honest question, because I've heard both sides of it. When it comes to noodling, and Pontoon Jody, and y'all may not noodle, but I have heard from some people that noodling is one of the worst things you can do for a catfish, because a lot of these people that do it, that build the boxes and do it, they do it during the spawning season of catfish. And I've also heard that some catfish, the fry stay in the mouths of one of the cats, and that's the ones that's in the thing. And so when you stick your hand in there for them to bite it, you're messing all that up. Is that true? Do you find it to be detrimental? Appreciate you, Diaz. I've heard that. I don't know it to be true, but I've heard it from people. And so you hear it from enough people, you start going, huh. But then again, I've been calling dadgum shell crackers stump knockers my entire life, and Doc Holliday corrected me, and I've been calling them that for 50 years. So maybe they're wrong, but I've heard that. I mean, how do you tournament catfish anglers feel about noodlers? Do you like it? Is it bad? Are you just indifferent? Don't care. Danny, what's this shower blow top water you guys always talk about? Tell me about it, please. Man, I don't have one in here with me. I wish I did. Pencil popper style, top water, feathered treble on the back. Sits like this a lot. You can walk it, you can pop, you can do whatever you want. You can let it sit in place and just let it bob. That's about the easiest way to talk. You know what I'm saying about the pencil popper style bait? Several different companies make them. I think Lucky Craft, is that the one that does is it a Lucky Craft that everybody likes to throw? Andy Miller goes, you put out 40 hours of entertainment a month. The membership is well worth the value you bring. Thank you. Sometimes I wonder. I got to figuring it out today. Yeah. I mean, it's like I average about, you figure 4 hours for the night ones, hour and a half. So yeah, it's about 12, 13 hours a week that I'm here yapping my mouth. And if they'd let me and that you guys would hang around, I'd do it for 40 hours. Come on, TikTok. Let me fix my TikTok people over here. I hate doing this. This is one of the most annoying things, though. I don't know. TikTok needs to change this thing. You should be able to go for more than an hour without having to reset. So there you go. It walks in place well. Yeah, that's what, cameraman Cletus is sitting there right there. Evergreen. That's what I could. Evergreen will slip in my mind. Evergreen shower blows. Basically a big pencil popper feathered treble. It was evergreen. That was slipping my mind. Now, so my answer on catfishing. Here's my answer. Yes, noodling pulls a male off the nest he is guarding. It immediately ruins the nest. The small fish and I can't. My mouse is messed up, so I can't go back in there. But looks like you said the small fish or something bad happens to them. So basically, the male is guarding the nest. That's what you see them noodling up. It messes it up. Okay. I didn't know. And I've heard two different sides of that. Some people are like, no, there's so many catfish. If you do it to a few, it ain't going to mess them up. Then I've heard other people say you've messed up a whole generation, your next generation of big cats. I've heard all those things. Small fish come and destroy the nest. Okay, that's what he said. I can see that. Patricia, I'm tired of deer smelling me and blowing at me a mile away. They smell your breath. You got to play the wind, dude, if you're a hunter. That's the big thing. Evergreen shower blows is my favorite topwater, and it says Jeff Brazil. And a lot of people, that's the one. Lucky Craft Gunfish is their pencil popper. Yep, that's right. Appreciate you, Diaz, so much. Evergreen shower blows is a stick bait with a cup base that throws water when you walk it. I will say this. There's not too many serious anglers on Lanier, and I would imagine Altoona, but especially Lanier, that don't have a gunfish or a shower blow in their boat. It's like standard tackle around here. They may like some things better than others, but that's kind of a standard, works like crazy around here. Creole catfish, okay, he's finishing up. The small panfish that are hovering around the nest will immediately eat eggs and destroy that nest. Really hurts the trophy genetics over time. So so here's another question. And I'm genuinely curious. If you hang around this show long enough, especially on Tuesday nights, I'll ask the viewers questions, but a lot of them are mine. What do you guys feel about the Hannah Barons and such of the world? Not how she looks. I'm talking about what she does. And for the social media standpoint of noodling for catfish. I'm Switzerland. I'm neutral. I'm not going to go either way. I'm asking you from a tournament and a guide, catfishing tournament angler and a guide. Like when you see one of those posts, how does that make you feel? Are you indifferent to it? Or are you kind of like, whatever? Or you're like, I can't believe she does that. Now, Jeff Brazil said on Pickwick, that's his standard topwater right there on Pickwick. And I think it's a lot of them. A lot of people are like that. I think they agree with you, Jeff. That is one of those that, I'm not going to lie. I got several. I did have my groove tackle box in here, my hard bait box somewhere because I was going to do, and I can't remember if I got one in it or not. Hold on one second. No, I got a couple. I got a spook and a pencil popper in this, but this is my Sebile box that I was starting. It is kind of like my Latham Lake Lanier box. So I got my Sebiles. I got one E-pop, and then I got my clear spook in this. But for the most part, it's your Magic Swimmers and my Spro. What the hell ever it's called? Sashimi. I just got my first spook yesterday and let the guy, Gables, talk me into a riser crankbait. I'm going to try out tomorrow. Do y'all run feathered treble hooks on the back of spooks? Some people do. I do not. I do not have one on this one. But I also, too, like there's only a couple of spooks I'll throw. And a lot of people don't throw clear. This is actually really big for this sack box. A lot of people don't throw clear. Guys, I like a clear spook. I really do. Now, I do think I probably should change the hooks on this, but I like it. I really do. There's not much to it. I honestly think when the fish get really finicky, late summer, early fall, sometimes you go clear. They can't really get a good look on it, but they know it's there. Now, maybe a feathered treble with a clear spook might be something, but I like walking the dog. And I just think sometimes, especially over at Latham, you can get bites on a clear spook when you can't get bites any other time. Now, Cam says, Tony says, I changed the hooks out on my spooks to mustard triple grips. And then he corrected it and said mustad. I was like, man, I don't carry mustard ones, but mustad for sure. So this is his opinion on like the Hannah Barons of the world. She does her best to promote the outdoors in general, and they do at least release most of the big fish. But it's still killing those nests, so I'm not a huge fan from a conservation standpoint. But you are right. So at least she does, in other aspects. I get that. I get that. So I'm going to assume we're learning about catfishing, nesting a little bit here today for all you guys. Female comes in, very similar to bass. Female comes in, male guards the nest. Is it true that in some of the species of catfish that the fry will actually hang out in the mouth of the male? Because I've heard that as well. And I'm learning. You're teaching me something right here. Jeff Brazil says, I run a feathered treble hook on all my topwater baits. I really trim them down, though. You are 100% correct on the clear spook. Makes for a real small profile. Listen, yeah, you're right. I just think, actually, what is this? Hold on a second. Wait a second. I wasn't paying attention. Damn, I do have an evergreen shower blow. I can't see with my glasses up close. All right, so this, let me hold it by the treble hook. That's an evergreen shower blow. So you got the cupped top. You kind of can see it right there. Pencil popper style body. When it's in there, weights to the back, and that allows it to sit like this. Feathered treble. I was looking at all my, I thought I had one. This is not my favorite color one, though, but I did have one. I might get this one custom painted. I don't know. But yeah, I did have one for sure. All right, let's see. I know 100% you stick your hand in a hole with a catfish in it, it's going to bite the piss out of you. Yeah, well, that's the whole thing, right? You're supposed to let them clamp down on your arm, and then you can pull off. Let's see. Cam says, thanks, Tony. Yeah, I don't like the look of the hooks on that head and spook. I got it all. They're big old saltwater hooks. Is that okay? Yeah, they're saltwater. Tony said that. Their saltwater hooks are terrible. And I have not changed those out yet. They're actually a little bit big too. Like, I mean, if you look at the size of this bait relative to the size of the hooks, and I know it's clear, so it's kind of hard to see. You see the size of those hooks. You see the size of the shower blows. I wish I had like something clear right behind me, but you can kind of see right there the difference in the hooks. See that? That's a big difference. I could put it in front of each other. But same size almost bait, right? These hooks are, sheesh, 4 times bigger than, I don't even know what size they are. I've killed them on a baby bass colored shower blow. Yeah, I mean, listen, they work. And here's the thing, is the shower blow works in a lot of different lakes. You can throw it in a farm pond. You can throw a shower blow in a farm pond just like anywhere you would a spook or a whopper plopper and all that. They'll still get busted. But spotted bass really do like them. Largemouth to hit them, spotted bass like them. Messick, I've got many scars on my hand from holding big blues for pictures. Okay, one more question for you there, Creole catfishing. Because I've heard this my whole life too, and I've done it. And it may be a placebo effect, but it works for me. My grandfather taught me back in the day when I was young. And of course, we ain't catching your size catfish. We're catching channel cats and, some flatheads and speckled cats, mud cats is what a lot of people call some of the catfish whatever. But if you ever got finned by a catfish, my grandfather would always take the tail of a catfish and wipe it over where he got finned. Every time. Seen it my entire life up until the day he died. And to this day, I will do the same. He always said it will not get sore. It won't hurt the next day. And I'm not going to lie, guys. Like, I do it and it does not bother me. Now, it may 100% be all in my head. But you catfishermen out there, have you ever heard that? Wipe the tail if you get finned by a catfish. And we ain't talking about them saltwater things. We're talking about freshwater catfish. I'm just wondering if that is a North Georgia or technically a Gilbert thing. That was from the Gilbert side of my family. But my grandfather always said that. My dad would do it. He probably learned it from my grandfather, his father-in-law. But even to this day, I will do that. And people come in the shop, and I tell them to do it. And, the whole time thinking, you know what? Just because it worked for me, it might be in my head. I don't know if it really works. But I know I've done that my entire life. So since you said that you got scars and all that, okay, listen to this. Hot damn. Yes, that's 100% true. The slime coat has antibacterial and healing properties. That's why it's so important to protect it on the fish. So if you get finned by a catfish, take its tail, wipe it across. I guess my grandfather was right. Sometimes I feel foolish for telling somebody that because in my mind, I'm like, they think that's kind of like, almost like witchcraft. And witchcraft might be a strong word. But I did have like one of them grannies that I had a great grandmother that could conjure warts. I don't know if you guys know what the hell that is, but I can tell you what she would do. True story. Now, she never had to do one for me. She did my brothers. I didn't get warts. My brother had a bunch of them on his hand. But she would take a string and she would tie the string in a circle kind of thing around the wart, almost like a knot. And she would say under her breath some little incantation in Bible verse, and then she would do something with that string, and then she would bury the string. And I'm not lying, guys. The damn wart would disappear. I don't know. And apparently you're supposed to pass it down to one person the next generation. And I got like a third cousin, and I haven't seen Junior in a while, but apparently she told him. My grandfather told me the same. Might try that slime trick on some eczema. Oh, my Lord, that's funny. That is funny. Those old folks knew their stuff. Yes, it's true. Had an old guy tell me that in Florida. Bible bass, absolutely, 100%. See, listen, I've honestly thought, I never got sore. And so, but it's like, if I went into the doctor and told them that, they'd be giving you 252 different antibiotics or something like that, just because you probably catch something from the slime coat, they say. But really, that happened. I don't know how many times I've been finned by a catfish, little boogers, and I just take the tail. So I thought maybe it was just in my head. And that makes me feel better about my grandfather. I mean, I love my grandfather. I love my papa. Don't get me wrong. Bless his soul. He's gone on to be with the Lord. But, you know, he did some questionable stuff in his life. So, you know, he could have been just pulling my leg. He was the one that the very first time we had a big old snapping turtle on a oh hell. What the hell? I just had a brain fart. When you take those lines with all of them and you throw them across the lake, trot line. I don't know why I forgot trot line all of a sudden. We had a big old snapping turtle on trot line caught by the mouth. He goes, reach down and grab it by its head. It's dead. It took me about 0.235 seconds to know that damn turtle wasn't dead. And my grandfather's sitting there laughing at me. So, like, I don't trust everything. And over the years, I've never asked anybody about that. Yeah, it's a trot line. I don't know why. I don't know why I forgot it. But, you know, over the years, I've just kind of like, do I really even need to ask somebody? Is my grandpa just kind of pulling my leg? But you guys say it's true. Danny, they have always said in Oklahoma that flatheads hold fry in their mouths. So I guess that's true too. Now, listen, I did fish with a man named Daryl on the Tennessee River in Chattanooga one time for cats. But that's it. The rest of mine is farm pond fishing, throwing some chicken liver on the bottom. Never caught one on hot dogs, even though I know guys caught fish. You know, they said they fished with hot dogs. But I don't have any experience with that kind of stuff, nor did I ever think about why they, you know, which one guarded the nest or what they did. So that's still like we all learned something. And that's what this show is all about, right? We learn that now if you get finned by a catfish, we have some experts on here. Wipe it with your tail. Wipe the tail over the part that you got finned, and you will not get sore. Ain't that something? So, all right, guys, look, hour and 17 in. I'm going to let you guys go. Tonight, 8 o'clock, again, join us. We're going to talk Guntersville, Grass Lakes. We'll talk the Ultimate Angler a little bit. Okay. Hey, everyone, hit that like button, please. You help Danny when you do. Yeah, y'all hit the like button. Bunch of lazy asses. Hit that like button. Appreciate you, far dog. Derek Spicer played with frogs as a kid. Absolutely loved them. Had over 20 warts. Finally in the late 20s, and I have none. My great granny would conjure them. I'm not lying. That's all right, far dog. Far dog, you just get on them. You get on them there, buddy. But yeah, she would conjure them, and she'd say something under, she'd say something under her breath, but she'd never let you hear what she would say. And she'd do something with the string, like pull the circle tight or something, and she'd bury it, and they would go, and they would go away. I don't know. It is what it is. You guys come back tonight, 8 o'clock. If you can't come tonight, we'll be back tomorrow. Do want to say one thing. Well, I got 40 of you on before you guys jump off. We've mentioned stuff like this before, but I know occasionally he watches this show. I had a buddy lost his wife earlier this week. And without saying how he lost his wife, you guys can understand where I'm going with it. Didn't know. Didn't see it coming. Didn't expect it. Shocked the entire community up here. Not that anything could have been done different in this situation, but always, always pay attention to those you love. Pay attention to those you love who might be hurting and you might not know it. I'll be going to a funeral tomorrow for this situation in the afternoon. And it's one of those that nobody saw coming. And so I think about that. I think about that with you guys all the time. Not that any of you guys have ever done that. But again, I want to say, as I always say, for the love of God, if any of you guys ever have any problems, please reach out to me if you need somebody to talk to. That goes to you on TikTok, whatever. Please reach out to me. No judgment zone here. The Lord knows if you think you've done something wrong in this world that can't be forgiven, I've probably done it twice. Trust me on that. I've probably done it twice. If you know somebody that's struggling, and that's not just your maybe talking to people ain't your cup of tea, send them my way. Or whatever. Because I don't want to go to another funeral. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys. Keep them in your thoughts and prayer. But Creole catfishing, a lot of people suffer in silence. A text or a phone call could save someone's life for sure. And we talk about it. And that is something that's big with me. Is like there's chairs in my shop for this phone call. But yeah, but sometimes we miss warning signs, and sometimes there are no warning signs. But just be vigilant with the ones you love, especially if for some reason they're acting a little different. It's gone on for a little extended period of time. Reach out. Reach out to your buddies, to your family, to everything. And for God's sakes, tell them to reach out to me. You guys reach out to me. It's sad. I don't want to start crying. We've had a great conversation, but I wanted to say that. I just want to pound that in your head. Please. So I love all you guys and gals. There's a few of you out there, guys and gals. So, yeah, I'm glad I got to say that. Got that off my chest because, like I was telling my wife and my daughter last night, a lot of hours alone at a shop. When I'm at home, I try to be the rock and let everybody else's problems and all that. Sometimes, it's even hard for me to let it out sometimes. Now, look, I mean, there's some crying gets done when I hear these things like that in this shop when you're all alone. I cry for a lot of you guys because you guys have told me some stuff that's going on. I tell you what, it's like we just got to do a better job as people to pay attention to these things. Love everybody a little bit better than we loved them yesterday. So, all you guys, I didn't mean to bring that in the show on a downer. I meant to say it earlier, and we got to talking, and you know how conversations go. But this one came out of nowhere to one of the most normal families that you could ever imagine. I have been envious of the success of this family because our children went to school together. Have always been some of the most fine, upstanding people that I've ever known. And it happened there. If it happened there, if it happened in this situation, it can happen anywhere. So I want you guys seriously, before, Andy said it can't be said enough. I lost my fishing partner 11 months ago. Yeah. It would kill me knowing somebody I knew, one of you guys or anybody, if it happened to y'all and I missed it or that you didn't reach out to me. Got to go watch a man and his kids tomorrow. It's tough. I don't want it to happen. I don't want it to happen ever again. John G. Can't tell you how much I miss my wife. Yeah. Don't want it to ever happen again. So, it may be the perfect way in the show. It's not, I wanted to do it in the middle, but I love you guys. I look forward to this every damn day. Let's watch out for each other, okay? Let's watch out for each other. You guys on TikTok, y'all are out of here. You guys on YouTube, seriously, I do. When I say I love you guys, honestly, love you guys. Please. Let me read Tony's comment, and then we'll go. I had it happen in my family recently. Take that minute. Call, text those you care for. 18 years of good marriage, 2 kids, asthma attack, and she was going to change my life for sure. I told my wife and my daughter last night. I've had a lot of you guys comment on this that you like what's going on and how we kind of care for each other. And I feel like it's my responsibility We bullshit about fishing, and we'll talk about a boob here or there, whatever. But I feel like it's my responsibility to watch out for my family here. I may never even meet some of you, but it's like you're my brother. I don't want to hear about this, I don't want to hear it happening to you or your family or your friends. So please, whatever you can do, just listen, pay attention, man. Listen, pay attention. If you're a guy, because it happens with you guys, we're stupid and we're stubborn. Don't hold it in. Tell somebody. If you got something going on, tell somebody. Tell somebody. Love you guys. I'm going to go in here and have to press my button. Come back tonight at 8. We'll see you then. Y'all have a great day. All right. Appreciate you guys.